My best friend stole my husband and said, "Got a rich future CEO husband, LOL." The result, Chapter 1. The beginning of betrayal. Mia and I had been best friends since childhood. We shared secrets, dreams, and even a love for the same type of coffee. Black, no sugar. We were inseparable, and I trusted her with everything, even my marriage to Ethan, the love of my life. Ethan was a driven man, ambitious and intelligent, working his way up the corporate ladder with dreams of becoming a CEO one day. We had been married for 5 years, and our life together was the epitome of happiness. Mia was there when Ethan and I first met. She was the one who encouraged me to give him a chance when I had my doubts. She was my maid of honor, the one who helped me pick out my wedding dress, and the one who wiped away my tears when I felt overwhelmed. I never imagined she would be the one to shatter my world. It all started subtly, with little things I didn't pay much attention to at first. Mia began visiting our home more often, always finding excuses to drop by. She'd make offhand comments about how lucky I was to have such a successful husband, joking about how she needed to find herself a man like Ethan. I laughed it off, thinking she was just teasing, as best friends often do. But then, the jokes turned into something more. Mia started flirting with Ethan right in front of me. She'd compliment his looks, touch his arm a little too long, and give him those lingering glances that made my stomach twist in knots. I confronted her about it once, but she brushed it off, claiming I was being paranoid. Ethan, too, dismissed my concerns, saying Mia was just being friendly. Chapter 2. The Unraveling. As weeks turned into months, the tension between us grew. Ethan became distant, spending more time at work and less time with me. He'd come home late, making excuses about meetings and business dinners. My once loving and attentive husband was slipping away, and I couldn't understand why. One evening, I decided to surprise him by showing up at his office with his favorite takeout. When I arrived, the receptionist told me he had left hours ago. Confused, I called him, but he didn't answer. My heart pounded in my chest as I drove back home, trying to convince myself that everything was fine. But when I walked through the door, I was met with the sight of Mia and Ethan, laughing together on the couch, a bottle of wine between them. My world tilted on its axis as I watched them, their closeness more than just friendly. "What's going on here?" I asked, my voice trembling. Mia looked up at me, a smug smile on her face. "Oh, nothing much. Just catching up with Ethan. He's such great company, don't you think?" Ethan stood up, looking guilty but saying nothing. That silence spoke volumes, and my heart shattered. Chapter 3. The Ultimate Betrayal. The next few weeks were a blur of arguments, tears, and sleepless nights. Ethan admitted that he and Mia had been seeing each other behind my back, claiming it just happened, as if that excused the betrayal. He didn't even have the decency to apologize properly, instead saying that maybe it was for the best. He was no longer happy, he said, and Mia made him feel alive again. Mia, on the other hand, was unapologetic. She flaunted their relationship, posting pictures of them together on social media, captioning one with, "Got a rich future CEO husband, LOL." The words cut deep, as if she were laughing at my pain, at the life I had built with Ethan that she so carelessly destroyed. I moved out of our home, unable to bear the memories that now felt tainted. I stayed with my sister, who helped me through the darkest days. But even as I tried to move on, the betrayal haunted me. How could my best friend, the one person I trusted the most, do this to me? And how could Ethan, the man I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, be so cruel? Chapter 4. The Aftermath. Months passed, and I slowly began to rebuild my life. I found a new job, made new friends, and started focusing on myself for the first time in years. I learned to enjoy my own company, to find happiness in small things, but the pain of betrayal never fully went away. It lingered, a dull ache in the back of my mind. Then one day, out of the blue, Mia called me. I hesitated to answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Her voice was different, no longer smug, but desperate. She confessed that things between her and Ethan weren't going as she had imagined. He was distant, cold, and more focused on his career than on her. The life she thought she would have with him, the one she so eagerly stole from me, wasn't the fairy tale she expected. "I don't know what to do," she said, her voice breaking. I thought he loved me. A part of me wanted to laugh, to tell her she got exactly what she deserved. But instead I simply said, "Now you know how it feels." Chapter 5: The Unexpected Twist. Not long after that call, I heard from mutual friends that Ethan had been fired from his job. The company was undergoing restructuring, and he was one of the many who were let go. His dreams of becoming CEO were shattered, and with them, the lavish lifestyle Mia had so eagerly sought. They ended up breaking up soon after, with Mia moving on to find her next rich future CEO. As for me, I realized that losing Ethan and Mia was a blessing in disguise. It freed me from a toxic relationship and a false friendship. I had learned to value myself and to recognize that my worth was not tied to someone else's success. In time, I met someone new, someone who valued and respected me for who I was, not for what I could provide or represent. And as for Mia, well, the last I heard, she was still searching for that elusive rich future CEO. But I no longer cared. My life was better without them, and I was finally at peace. This story explores the deep betrayal of trust between two lifelong friends when one decides to pursue the other's husband, lured by the promise of wealth and status. The protagonist, once happily married, finds her life turned upside down as her best friend steals her husband, flaunting their new relationship on social media with a mocking caption. As she grapples with the loss of her marriage and friendship, she discovers inner strength and resilience. The story takes an unexpected twist when the husband's ambitions crumble, leaving the former best friend to realize that what she gained was far less than what she lost. The protagonist, on the other hand, emerges stronger and finds peace in a new, healthier relationship, proving that sometimes what seems like the end is just the beginning of something better.